Switzerland's goal came from the exact same tactic that was applied throughout the first half, having a numerical advantage on the side and putting defenders out of position at the half space, and then going for a direct pass and a cross inside, something that was seen multiple times during the first half, but this time Embolo was able to score. As a reaction, Southgate started pushing numbers and made 3 substitutions. England's equalizer came from a shot from outside the box, which was something that England lacked during the first half, as it was the only valid response to the good defensive positioning from the Swiss players. Hello there everyone, it is Mitsu here and welcome back to another video on my channel. Today we'll have an in-depth analysis of the quarter-final between England and Switzerland. England started the game with a 4-3-3 formation on paper, but actually shifted their shape a lot, and we will discuss that, while Switzerland used a 3-4-3 formation as you can see on the screen. The stats show that the game was close, with Switzerland having more expected goals, which is obvious as Switzerland was closer to the goal multiple times. Defensively, Southgate depended on 5 players at the back, so we saw Bukayo Saka dropping down to play as a right wing back to help Walker stay kind of central in an attempt to keep the defensive line as compact as possible. So we saw this 5-4-1 formation during the defensive phase for England. This defensive approach delayed how England transitioned into the attacking phase, especially when the midfielders had to track back. For example, here Declan Rice had to cover the half space. Although England were using 5 at the back, the defensive line was not compact enough. On the other hand, Switzerland used a 5-3-2 formation without the ball. This would shift into a 5-1-3-1 formation to cover any English player asking for the ball between the lines. Notice how Switzerland were trying to keep their block as compact as possible and avoided using a low block when England starts building up. Moving to the attacking phase, Southgate used 3 at the back while building up. Walker, Konsa and Stones would form the back 3, while Saka and Trippier would always be positioned on the wings. In this case, Trippier played as a left winger. Saka, on the other hand, contributed to the majority of the attacking threat from England. Phil Foden would play around Saka to link up with him and allow him to perform forward runs behind the defensive line. We noticed how compact Yakin's defensive line was, wide enough horizontally yet very compact vertically, forcing all the English players to ask for passes around the block. So even if the players are positioned between the lines, they would not be free enough to ask for a pass. That's why we saw a lot of negative possession from England throughout the first half especially, and throughout the match in general. Southgate wanted to have Foden and Bellingham positioned between the lines, behind Harry Kane. On the other hand, Switzerland focused on having a numerical advantage in the half spaces. So, for example, we discussed how Saka was playing as a wing-back. Now, Switzerland would push multiple players around Walker and Saka and go for short and quick passes before finding the final pass inside the box. This was seen multiple times on the left-hand side with the likes of Vargas and Embolo, but the same concept was also applied on the right. Southgate used this shape during the pressure, as he did not have an actual left winger in the formation, so he used 5 players to block the deep passing options. Mino would usually mark Xhaka as well, so this forced Switzerland to pass the ball to the sides. Switzerland also pushed numbers occasionally during the first half, and applied high pressure at times. The first half was very tactically equal between the two sides. The second half, on the other hand, saw a very strong start from Switzerland. Yakin pushed multiple players forward and the attacking numbers increased from Switzerland, not only around the box but even inside the penalty area. Notice how many players are positioned inside the box. They followed that by keeping a high defensive line, as you can see. England's shape was very defensive. You can see how Southgate's tactic of keeping 5 players at the back reflected on how defensive the outcome of the formation was. Notice how many English players are positioned inside the box during the defensive phase in this example. Without the ball, Mino would still mark Xhaka, but the team was not applying enough high pressure. Switzerland's goal came from the exact same tactic that was applied throughout the first half, having a numerical advantage on the side and putting defenders out of position at the half space, and then going for a direct pass and a cross inside, something that was seen multiple times during the first half, but this time Embolo was able to score. As a reaction, Southgate started pushing numbers and made 3 substitutions. Switzerland was using a 5-4-1 formation with a very compact low block. England's equalizer came from a shot from outside the box, which was something that England lacked during the first half, as it was the only valid response to the good defensive positioning from the Swiss players. Maybe you're tired of constantly turning into an opponent and losing the ball, or annoyed at having to apologize to your teammate every time for making a bad decision. Well, I want to introduce you to an amazing tool to help you avoid this and become a more calm and confident player on the field. Be Your Best is football training in virtual reality. The main skill that Be Your Best trains is your scanning, but it is also used to improve players' vision, decision making, and memory, allowing you to train these difficult skills from home anytime you want. In Be Your Best's main training mode, called Scenario Training, you will play through over 800 scenarios recreated from real-life professional games, like this one featuring Luka Modric. You will be on the field playing the game from a player's first-person perspective, as you complete scenarios and receive feedback on your performance. For this summer's Euros, Be Your Best have also just released a new challenges mode, where you are able to replay real-life moments from the tournament, put your scanning vision and decision-making skills to the test, and compete for real-life prizes with other players, as you compare yourself to some of the world's best. Many pros such as Tchouaméni and Martin Odegaard have all used this training to improve. It is also backed by science, with a recent 9-week study seeing players who trained with it improve their scan rate by 28%. You can get 20% off your first month or year by using the code MitsoJR at the checkout from the link in the description. During the extra time, both teams were very careful and somewhat defensive. Both teams kept the same defensive shape throughout the extra time, and you could say that both teams were trying to safely push it to penalties. This video is brought to you by METRICA Sports, the fundamental tool for every coach and analyst. Create and manage all your video analysis in one platform. Use the coupon MitsoJR at the checkout for a 10% discount. Southgate managed to get a win at the end, but I believe that the tactics that were on display do not meet the standards set by the English fans. On the other hand, Switzerland played a really good tactical game, coming in as the underdog in the quarterfinal. So I would like to see how Southgate would approach games against the likes of Netherlands, Spain, or even France. Before we end the video, I would like to let you guys know that the EKKONO Coaches Academy are uploading plenty of in-depth analysis focused on specific tactical topics. So I encourage you guys to have a look at the analysis, and you can always use the code MitsoJR at the checkout if you found the content interesting. You can find the link in the description down below. So that was it guys, I hope you have enjoyed the analysis. Make sure to subscribe if you did, as I'll try my best to cover the semi-finals as well, so stay tuned for that. And finally, let me know what changes do you think Southgate needs to apply to improve the overall gameplay in the comments down below. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.